streaming? No. No, oh no, it is streaming. So it's not. Oh, this is all working. There we go. What is it? Oh no, I told you to use this. I have to shut out those. No, I don't use OSB. OSB is shut down. Use the camera. No streaming. No. No streaming. Hey y'all, dealing with some minor technical difficulties, but I think we are a go now. So here we go. Okay. Here we go. Hello, everyone. Sorry for the minor technical difficulties. We're just trying to figure out some stuff on my end, but I think we are all set to go now. So hello, everyone. My name is Stephen, and I am the musical act Steamcordia. I am based out of New York City. If anyone has been to any of the steampunk conventions in New York or New Jersey, I've done some busking there. But I recently... So I work in technical theater, and unfortunately, due to this little thing called COVID, I have had lots of free time recently. So I've used that time to go and release a shiny new album, which I call Questionable Amounts of Sense. And I am going to be performing a number of songs from that, as well as some cover songs and some other instrumental stuff that I do. So anyways, without further ado, let's get this show on the road. Okay. So while the current pandemic has kept us all indoors, we all look forward to a future time where we are able to get outside and mingle with friends and family and do other stuff. This first song that I'm going to do is called Festival of Lights, and it imagines a time where we are able to mingle with others at a large sort of festival type thing. Dealing with the accordion, more fun. Anyways, here we go. Festival of Lights. Hello Everyone, sit yourself down, open a flask and pass it around. The fun's just begun, we're taking this town over tonight, so come gather round. The Festival of Lights is a spectacle. How bright the lanterns, how sweet the sound of a band all lit up on the fairground. So kick up your boots, let's all get down. Thank you very much. That was Festival of Lights. I am Steamcordia. Yes, and that was the first song from my new album, Questionable Amounts of Sense. If you guys like anything that you hear today, feel free to stop over at steamcordia.bandcamp.com. You can purchase physical albums, digital albums, I mean, there's just one right now, but eventually there will be more. Also, feel free, I've got a couple music videos on YouTube where I have a few more instruments than just right now. This is more of a acoustic set with just the accordion and some other stuff that you'll hear later on. But anyways, yes, to keep things going a little bit, I've got an instrumental piece, short little circus piece that I've written. Here we go. Thank you very much. In today's society, we have artificial intelligence and automation slowly taking over more and more jobs and all that other jazz. This next song, though, imagines a Victorian town where the automatons are not quite as obedient as their modern-day counterparts. This is the Robot Revolt. The robots are coming, they're coming to town. You've heard all the stories, now come gather round. They're sick of their work and they've thrown it all down. The Robot Revolt has begun. Begun, they will have their fun. The Robot Revolt has begun. They're tired of working and toiling away out in the forest and mines every day. They long for a life they can just waste away. The Robot Revolt has begun. Begun, they will have their fun. The Robot Revolt has begun. They're out with a vengeance, they're picking up steam. The pistons are churning, the engines all scream. Out here in the sun, their saws really gleam. The robot revolt has begun. The robot revolt has begun. So quick to your post, grab your gun and your gown. Bid the missus goodbye and to get out of town. It's time for a reckoning, we'd best hunker down. The robot revolt has begun. Begun, out here in the sun, the robot revolt has begun. Begun, let's go have some fun. The robot revolt has begun. Thank you very much. This next piece, again, looks forward to times when people are able to gather in festivals and other large events. This is called In the Light of the Silvery Moon. Me and my sweetheart walked down by the bay. We went there each morning, most every day. We strolled by the pigeons, said hello to the waves as we hopped along the parkway. I was a musician who wrote songs of love to the birds and the bees and the stars above. My sweetheart took lessons in all sorts of dance and was prone to show off whenever got the chance. In the sand on the shore, we danced a bit more in the light of the silvery moon. One day we were walking, my sweetheart and I, when suddenly we saw up in the sky a flying contraption with odd-looking wings, a spinning propeller, and other strange things. The Festival of Lights had come to our town with all sorts of airships and lanterns and sound. We looked at each other and then gave them chase, intrigue in our minds and a smile on our face. In the sand on the shore, we danced a bit more in the light of the silvery moon. The airships came down with a whir and a hiss, and they slowly descended and finally kissed the earth with a groan, a clank and a crash. The pilots jumped out and started to dance. The people all came from villages around to the airships now gathered on the fairground. My sweetheart joined in and danced with such glee while I stood to the side and looked on with envy. In the sand on the shore, they danced a bit more in the light of the silvery moon. My sweetheart, she danced at the fairground all night. I played with a band till dawn's early light. And as I was leaving, I happened to see a dashing young pilot with my honeybee. I then saw him gesture up towards the sky. I called out her name, but got no reply. A large group of revelers had drowned out my plea, and amongst the crowd, I lost sight of she. I came back next morning to hunt for my dove, cursing my luck, that pilot and love. The fairgrounds were empty, so all I can say is those airships had taken my sweetheart away. In the sand on the shore, we will dance no more in the light of the silvery moon. In the sand on the shore, we will dance no more in the light of the silvery moon. Thank you very much. Yes, I am Steamcordia. Check out my album, Questionable Amounts of Sense. That was the third song from the album. Just checking out the YouTube comments. I see someone over there is rooting for the robot. Okay, everyone's rooting for the robots. Great. We will, well, hopefully they won't take over things too quickly. Yes. So yes, anyways. Oh, a few facts about my album. I really like using physical instruments for everything, just because I feel like it adds a little more excitement and grounds things a little bit. Yes. The issue with that is that I'm only able to physically use instruments that I actually have in my apartment. And for a couple of the songs that I did on the album, I really wanted the sound of church bells. And you can buy instruments that produce these sounds. They're just not cheap. So I did what anyone would do with not enough money, but also way too much time in my hands, I went and built my own set of orchestra chimes, church bells. So this next piece I'm going to use will go and demonstrate those orchestra chimes. It is a traditional Russian song called Peace I Give You. As you all can imagine, I am very looking forward to Christmas because church bells are like the quintessential. Let's play some Christmas music. And I know my roommates are not going to be super happy with me, but I'm just looking forward to all the Christmas songs all the time. Yes. It is not Thanksgiving yet, so I won't go too crazy with that. But yes, anyways, orchestra chimes. So much fun, so loud, so much copper tubing. Anyways, I'm going to switch gears a little bit and wander over to another instrument. Yes. I have a magic assistant behind the camera operating everything for me. Also, just in case, I'll talk about this armband later. I basically use it for the accordion to help with friction and whatnot. Anyways, so the next one. In addition to recording my own album, one of my friends, Travis Law Benson, went and compiled a album of songs and other pieces that were written during the time of coronavirus. I used this opportunity to go and write my own piece that kind of chronicled my life, or how my life was going at the time. It was written in, I want to say like April or May, and it's very interesting how some of the stuff in the piece still seems to apply today, despite the fact that so much has happened between the beginning of the pandemic and now. Anyways, without further ado, life in the time of Corona. I need to do a quick mic swap. Again, without further ado, life in the time of Corona. A strange new virus in China is found. Before we know it, it's all over town. Some try to ignore it and cast it aside. The seasonal flu is worse, they all cried. The government closes the restaurant spaces, theaters and bars and gathering places. Distance we keep from old and the frail, and those whose bodies could easily fail. Wake, eat, sleep, repeat. Wake, eat, sleep, repeat. Wake, eat, sleep, repeat. To grocery stores the people all flock. Toilet paper is now out of stock. 6 feet apart is the law of the land, and wearing a mask has become a demand. At 7 p.m. we let out some cheers for hard-working folks with healthcare careers. Conflicting opinions on how it is spread. One journey outside could send someone to bed. Wake, eat, sleep, repeat. Wake, eat, sleep, repeat. Wake, eat, sleep, repeat. Hours are spent on phones and persistence of trying to get unemployment assistance. projects to do and errands to run, but infinite time means nothing gets done. Games with family, games with friends, on phone and computer, the fun never ends. Runs in the park, workout at home, my body gains strength, but my mind is alone. Wake, eat, sleep, repeat. Wake, eat, sleep, repeat. Wake, eat, sleep, repeat. Friends and coworkers all want to know, when theaters reopen, will anyone go? Questions unanswered about future careers, I push these aside, won't yet face those fears. Grasping for answers to what lies ahead, how long will this virus continue to spread? Sitting at home, motivation is low, sometimes it feels like all I do is wake, eat, sleep, repeat. 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 Thank you very much. That was Life in the Time of Corona off of the album This Pie is Only Crust, compiled by Travis Love Benson and other people. Next we have the next song. While COVID has brought a lot of negatives, I'm very thankful that it has given me a lot of opportunity to go and pursue my hobbies, such as Steamcordia, that I don't usually have the time to pursue. I do enjoy singing and songwriting, but I'd be lying if I claimed that it came supernaturally. This next song is about some of the struggles that I've dealt with while singing and songwriting and all that other jazz. It is called Perseverance. The songwriter sits with his instruments, stares straight ahead. The notes aren't coming. He knocks his head against a wall in hopes that a chord will fall into line. He picks out a ditty or two, the melody crooned is worn and unfeeling. He picks up his coat and walks out. He prays that a recess will jostle his mind. No song and nowhere to go. The lyricist sits at his typewriter, stares straight ahead. The notes aren't coming. The starting points lock all around, but nothing of substance can seem to align. He hunts through the bones of a tale. He searches for meat, but comes up with nothing. He stares out his window, exhales, and prays that his muses will send him a sign. No song and nowhere to go. The musician boots up his laptop and uploads a song, but no one takes notice. He knows the potential is there, the world at his feet, it would feel sublime. Like hollowing into the void, he sings to the world, but no one is listening. Wrapped up in their lives and their work, there's so much to do and so little time. Striving for something to show. Get the song ready to go. The songwriter stabs out a chord, he plays a few more, it sounds like it's something. The lyricist picks up a chord, he gives it a shot, let's see if it fails. The musician picks up... I forgot what the words are here, I'm just gonna keep on going. Now everything's ready to go, let's put on a show and hope we don't fail. Striving for something to show. you go. Let it go. Thank you very much. Stuff doesn't always go. Welcome to live performances and not always knowing all the words. Anyways, I'm going to jump ahead a little further than I was planning on going. And I'm going to do a cover of a song that I found online recently. It's by a new artist called Dr. Sias Amdusius. And the song is called Hey Penny Thoughts for Two Penny Songs. And I really like how it sounds. So I'm going to give, I'm gonna share it with all of you. Anyways, here we go. I've got a mind like a broken down elevator in an old folks home. It just keeps turning all this old stuff up and it won't let go. I'm thinking I could share it, I could give it a try. Put a bow on this pig and see if it could fly. Because maybe someone wants to hear. I put my hey penny thoughts into penny songs. A little bit right and a lot of it wrong. And if you've half a mind to start singing along, then I recommend that you try it on. Because hey penny thoughts might see you along in my two penny song. And I can't paint a work of art. My poetry won't touch your heart. All of my sculptures fall apart. My magnum opus wouldn't start. But then I picked up this guitar. The words and chords gave me a start. Great wisdom wasn't on the cards. But I had something to impart. Now I've a mind like an archaeologist in the desert sun. Getting burnt digging up the past and it ain't much fun. I'm hoping to find something that's a little bit weird. A thought here or there that might have some appeal. Because maybe someone understands. I put my hey penny thoughts into two penny songs. A little bit right and a lot of it wrong. And if you've half a mind to start singing along, well, I recommend that you try it on. Because hey penny thoughts might see you along in my two penny songs. In my two penny songs. In my two penny songs. Thank you. That was a cover of Hey Penny Thoughts for Two Penny Songs by Dr. Sias Amdusius. Anyways, I'm going to head back over to the accordion right now. So you're going to watch me doing some lovely picking up of the awesome accordion. This is not the most graceful of instruments, but it sounds pretty awesome. So fun fact, I actually started playing the accordion because my favorite instrument in the world right now is a pipe organ. Unfortunately, I live in a New York City style apartment, and I don't quite have the space for a pipe organ as much as I would like. So the accordion is kind of similar to a reed organ, if any of you know what that is. But yeah, so that's kind of how I picked up the accordion. I've been playing it for about 5 years now, and I really enjoy it. Anyways, this next song was inspired kind of by the story of Hansel and Gretel, and it features a woman of advanced years, naive child, and questionable sweets. And I'm gonna do... Great. Here we go. This next song is called The Licorice Tree. Make sure that's... And this song is called The Licorice Tree. Some of my songs kind of start the same way. Oh, once when I was a child of 3, I went to my mother and she said to me, "Dear boy, stay away from that licorice tree. It's sweet like an owl, but stings like a bee. Oh, stay away from that licorice tree. It's sweet like an owl, but stings like a bee." The licorice tree was a thing I adored. 'Twas in the backyard of the neighbor next door, a sweet old thing from yonder shore, who'd oft entertain me with tales of yore. She awed me with stories of castles and kings, of dragons and dungeons and other such things. She spoke of a lad who was prone to such feats, that when riled up she would just burst to bits. And as I would sit, she would give me a glass of lemonade mixed with sassafras. Small candies she would give me, all flavored by her licorice tree. Oh, stay away from that licorice tree. It's sweet like an owl, but stings like a bee. And then half slumber would overtake me. I droop round 11 and wake up past 3. My mother, oh, it did worry she, to see that spell get put over me. One afternoon my neighbor came by, round 4 o'clock with a fresh baked pie. It smelled of fruit and sugar sweet, and just a hint of that licorice treat. Oh, stay away from that licorice tree. It's sweet like an owl, but stings like a bee. I took a bite as out I went, dreaming of my time all spent under the shade of a tree so cool, it felt as if I was in a pool. Alas, when I awoke, I found it wasn't a pool, but a cauldron round, full of water, carrots and beets, and heaps of that fine licorice tree. I let out a yelp as quickly I leapt out of the cauldron, and as I wept, I yelled at her, "I trusted thee, you and your cursed licorice tree. Oh, stay away from that licorice tree. It's sweet like an owl, but stings like a bee." If ever you should happen to see an old woman with a licorice tree, you'd best stay far away from she, or else her lunch she may find thee. Oh, stay away from that licorice tree. It's sweet like an owl, but stings like a bee. Oh, stay away from that licorice tree. It's sweet like an owl, but stings like a bee. Thank you very much. That was The Licorice Tree. Another song off of my awesome new album, Questionable Amounts of Sense, which can be purchased at steamcordia.bandcamp.com in both physical, awesome shrink wrap, physical and digital copies. You can also find it at all of the various other streaming and music purchasing websites online. So yeah, if you like what you hear, check it out. I will say that the album is slightly more, it's got a few more instruments on it. The scores are a little more embellished. It's just that I am a single person with a single accordion and I only have 2 hands. But anyways, so next, I traditionally do a lot of busking at some of the different conventions that I go to. So I wanted to throw in a few songs from my more traditional busking repertoire. Busking Medley. Here we go. much. That was "'Tis a Gift to Be Simple," "Swing Low, Sweet Chariot," "Nobody Knows the Trouble I've Seen," and "Home on the Range." Anyways, to move things along, another instrumental piece that I have written. A lot of my instrumental pieces that I've written, I just give numbers based on the order that I write them. So this next piece has the very creative title of Piece Number 4. Thank you very much. That was piece number 4. So anyways, continuing on with some of the lyrical songs, a theme that I really enjoy writing about is lovers who fall under unfortunate circumstances. Don't think too much about that. Anyways, next one is the Wedding Dirge. The city sleeps, the clock strikes midnight, the henchman wakes, there's a work to be done. He takes his knife and walks to the window. The city sleeps, not a soul around. Lily stirs, the clock strikes 1. Her parents sleep across the hall. She hugs her coat and waits for her lover to whisk her away far from this hall. She has been promised to a rich baron, he who is lonely, and she who is pure. The church it was booked, and her family invited, and soon in the morning their vows will be sworn. Robert heaves, the clock strikes 2. He's drunk again, with so much to lose. Lily waits on a late night call to whisk her away far from it all. The Baron snores, the clock strikes 3. His wedding plans are as sure as can be. He knows of their scheme and has sent arrangements. No other man shall take his day, for for she has been promised to a rich baron, she who is anxious and he's so secure. The church bells will ring, no lover deny him, that soon in the morning their vows will be sworn. Robert jolts, the clock strikes 4. He hears it again. There's a knock at the door. The henchman appears. He is here to dissuade him. A flick of the knife will cease Robert's call. Lily weeps. The clock strikes 5. No lover's flight. Those hopes have died. As Robert fled, can't dwell upon it. She gathers herself for her wedding day. She has been promised to a rich baron, he who is wrathful and she insecure. The church bells will ring, the family delighted, and now in the morning their vows will be sworn. Thank you very much. That was the Wedding Dirge. Also off my short EP/album, Questionable Amounts of Sense, which is available for purchase at steamcordia.bandcamp.com, as well as all of your other favorite music streaming / purchasing sites. Anyways, just checking out the YouTube comments. Thank you, Sam. I appreciate the feedback. Real easy to listen to. Can see why you busk with this. I tend to do a lot more cover songs when I busk. Some of the copyright stuff is a little weird, so I don't go and do but like popular current cover songs for any of the streaming stuff. But yeah, so next time you see me, I do have a lot of vendors because I do a lot of like pop songs and songs that I already kind of know. I do have a lot of like vendors who have told me they're like, oh, I go and play Name That Tune with some of the songs that you do. And that's kind of cool. I also see that they're going to hold the Steampunks of New English is going to hold off on the Goodbye live stream a little bit. I think I should be done by about 4:45, 4:50, so we can get people moving along pretty quickly after this. I just got one more song on my list, so I think we're getting there. Anyways, so this next song, this last song, I guess, to end my set tonight, I have a song about a female inventor who has to deal with a potentially persistent suitor. It is called Isabel. And before I start, I just want to give a big thank you to everyone at Jewelry City Steampunk Festival who helped put this together. There were a few technical snags on my end, apparently, getting this started, but we've got things going, and it seems like we were able to cobble together a solution. Yes, a big thank you also to everyone who is tuned in tonight. Thank you for giving up some of your evening to come and check out my awesome busking songwriting and vocalist skills. Yeah. Anyways, also, if you like what you hear, feel free to check out my new album, Questionable Amounts of Sense. You can get it both in physical forms and in digital copies. Anyways, without further ado, here's my final song, Isabel. There was a young maiden whose name was Isabel. She was so beautiful like no one around. Many a lad would flock to her windowsill to try and woo her however he can. Sonnets and verses were penned about Isabel. The poets and minstrels were often employed. Violets and roses to catch her attention could often be seen by the passers-by. Now Isabel, she was an inventor, building devices to help her along. One washed her dishes, another sewed dresses, and one large machine would manage them all. And while Isabel enjoyed the attention from mayor and minstrel, local and guest, her one true call was her inventions. She could make do without all of the rest. One day a fair suitor from several towns over heard of her splendor, decided to call. He went to her house, bringing presents for Isabel, went to the windowsill, that's time to call. Isabel, I want to take you away with me, come with me to my happy abode. Be my sweet Isabel, wife and my only belle, make you so happy, I promise I will. Our heroine was in the middle of tinkering with a device that would make her sing too. She called to the suitor, thanks but not interested, I'm quite happy here, now please let me be. Upon this rejection, the suitor was flustered. How could she turn down his charming advance? He called out again, I have traveled for many miles, please reconsider and give me a chance. So with a sigh she got up from her workbench, put down her tools to go answer his call. She smiled politely and said, thanks for dropping by, I'm quite happy here, so my answer's still no. The suitor then scowled, his face turning sour. He was not acquainted with getting denied. He threw down the gifts as once more he implored her, beginning to show her his less pleasant side. Isabel, I want to take you away with me, come with me to my sweet happy abode. Be my sweet Isabel, wife and my darling belle, make me so happy, I promise you will. Once more she smiled but spoke more directly. You're not the first and you won't be the last to offer to take me, to wife me, to caress me, to come with me, but I shall have the last laugh. And then she reached up and pulled down a lever. The central machine started to whir. Mechanical guard dogs sprang from the bushes and chased that proud suitor right out of town. Isabel smiled and went back to her workbench. Her marvelous house had helped her again. She hoped the next visitor gracing her windowsill would have the sense to like science instead. The moral, my friends, if mayhaps I should have one, is beauty is but a singular trait. If that is the only thing that you'd consider, your fate, I must warn, may not end that great. Thank you very much. That was Isabel. Yes, off one of my songs off my album, Questionable Amounts of Sense. Thank you everyone for tuning in. It is about 4:45, so I should probably send you guys off to the closing ceremonies. But thank you again to Steampunks of England for Steampunks of New England, sorry, for putting on this great event. If you want to hear any, or if you want to get hear any more of my stuff, if you want to get any notifications on any future things that I do, feel free to check out my Facebook, Instagram, SoundCloud, and other various streaming sites and other music stores. Just search for Steamcordia on the general interwebs, and if you see anything, it should basically be me. But yes, I am Stephen. I am Steamcordia. Thank you for all tuning in, and have a great day, everyone. Goodbye.